yourself for this short interview.
Of course.
Yeah, on short notice. Please introduce yourself and just give us a little background about your education.
Sure. So my name is Rishab,
Yeah.
and I'm currently doing a master's program here in statistics. Previously, I completed a bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering, and that was from the US. And my work experience has predominantly been in the technology industry, so with software, both in the software giants, in big software companies as well as small startups in Silicon Valley, and I think even now I look to work somewhere at the intersection of working with data and doing computer engineering.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'm talking to the right person because today we are going to talk about big data. What's big data to you?
So I think big data is just a trend. It's like a movement that's been made possible because we can collect and store a lot of data. Technology, especially storage technology, has advanced to the extent that it is possible to store quantities of data that would be very hard for someone to look at and analyze, manually. So big data is just the phenomenon or the movement or trend of trying to make sense of things like say user clicks on the web,
Yeah.
or database records of exactly what you do on the web and things of that sort. So you would usually need to use algorithms to mine the data and learn from it and try and derive insights that can then help you, develop customer relationships or market your products better, or basically translate into business incentives.
Okay, thank you. So there's been a lot of discussion about privacy and ethics on the use and the collection of big data. Do you think that we should be talking about privacy and ethics as far as big data is concerned? Is it something that we should focus on, or should we just be focusing on other things?
Well, I think it definitely has to be part of the conversation, and it's going to be a larger and larger concern as we go forward with this. Even today, you will be surprised to know how much data a lot of big companies have regarding your activities and how much they know about you as a person. Quintessential example is Google. Google can piece together your thought process better than anything can. Google is, a catalog of exactly what is going on in your head, and they might be able to predict what you're going to think of even better than you can, in the future. So things like that always end up being a little intrusive on your right to privacy, and if there's an intelligence out there that can understand you better than you might even, then that always is a scary thought. So to some extent, we are dealing with the unknown here. That is a consideration. These questions always come up, and then we have to deal with the legality of certain things and
Yes.
Ways to protect the end user and things of that sort.
Okay, thank you. So, I mean, what's the consumer's reaction to the predictive capability of big data to near exactness to what they want? I mean, what do you think their reaction is, considering that there's one issue of they are benefiting from having their preference known by somebody else and getting the information as the way they would have wanted, or the goods or service vis-a-vis being exposed?
So I think in a lot of cases, of course, it is going to be of benefit. And I think, the benefits so far are very obvious. You are able to rely on services that get you information as and when you need it, and that information delivery is only going to get better. The ultimate goal, of course, is to be able to rely on a computer as a sort of executive assistant that boosts your productivity manyfold. And that would, of course, that kind of progress is already on the way. But in other cases, big data could have vast implications in healthcare. If your health records and the health records of everybody in the country are available to scientists who can then sort of piece together similarities and maybe warn you of risks like in advance of you developing a condition that, and maybe even personalize the treatment that you are able to avail. That could obviously prove life saving. So I think a lot of the potential of big data is positive, and I anticipate public reaction to breakthroughs of that nature to also be positive. But as I said, whenever there is a fear of the unknown involved, there's always concerns about whether the technology can be put to misuse. But that said, I don't think it is a technology or I don't think it is as much of a weapon that people need to really be wary of using it. It's not nuclear technology, for instance. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I mean, like one of the concerns is that the sophistication that comes with big data at some point it becomes creepy. Mm-hmm. So, how do you think then we need to manage that for people to understand that the benefits are probably more than the damage that it causes?
Right. I think it will be more and more obvious to customers, who are, of what the benefits of this big data are. Mm-hmm. Your mobile apps, your social networks, your local apps, so apps that give you access and information on local services, are all going to get smarter and give you information and access to services as you need. They'll anticipate your needs and be able to deliver on them. And as that happens, again, it's going to save you time, it's going to save you money, it's going to save you a lot of things that will make you more productive. And I think it's going to be a part of your life. I think it's going to be, it's not going to be something anyone can escape. I think the only concern is, when there's the thought of, say, Big Brother, hovering above us, is there really someone or something out there that can track everything that you're doing and every place that you are at and every single thought in your head? Do they really know you better than you do yourself? I think those kinds of concerns exist. Some people already say firms like Google are too big and to fail, and they have aggregated way too many services that are now vital, and that bundling effect is a violation of antitrust laws already. I mean, but effective use of laws like that could help break up these companies so that they are, they're more, or they don't have so much control over their customers, but only manage to compete on smaller sort of subsets of data that are more beneficial to the customer as opposed to being a threat.
Okay, so one of what you're proposing is that the breakup of like the services that Google offers to give consumers comfort that not one person doesn't have all their data. Yeah, so I understand that. There is the other issue of inequality as well that a lot of analysts have just come up with to say that big data is promoting inequality. What do you think about that?
Inequality, do you mean, there's some people who have access to these services and are able to utilize the fact that they can derive insights from all the data, or?
Yes, because there are people who don't use these smart gadgets at all, or they don't even have access to the internet. So really nobody is thinking about them. What we are thinking about is the clicks that the few who are able to access this technology are making, and we're using that to generalize the whole population, and we are serving the market that is clicking, and we are ignoring the market that is not clicking.
I don't think that's such an issue in the long term, because companies like Facebook and Google are concerned about reaching out to the market themselves. They want to expand on their customer pool, and you've probably heard of initiatives like taking the internet further and further into developing countries and being able to offer mobile-based services, things of that sort incentivize companies themselves to reach deeper and further into the marketplace. And naturally, the progression of technology is always it's always from the early adapters to the latecomers. Yes. But I think because it is in the sort of it is an incentive for the companies to reach out to more and more people and collect more and more data. I think it's going to be a natural consequence, and we already do see some of that, right? We see the fact that the mobile phone is probably the best penetrated technology to have ever arrived. I mean,
Yeah.
even in the poorest and the most underdeveloped of countries. So I feel that is less of a concern. I mean, sure, the attention might, as of now, be focused on the breakthroughs and the advances and the most privileged, who have access to all of those. But I think the proliferation is going to be faster than we've seen, like in a lot of cases.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you for availing yourself again, as I had said, and thank you for this discussion, quite informative. And I guess, what's your last words about big data?
Well, I for one am definitely in favor of artificial intelligence and automation, and I feel like there's less to be scared about than the amount of potential these technologies and these pieces of science hold for us. So we'll fight the issues as they come, but I think there's a lot of positives to look forward to.
Thank you. Thank you.